Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. Peep Squad is in the building. Mary Jane's in the building. We're going to be talking about Growing Up Hip Hop Season 4, Episode 19. Please hit that like button, share the video. Let's go all the way to the top, baby. Let's get to number 1 and bring others with us. Let's do this. So episode was crazy. We find out that Vanessa had a miscarriage like months ago. Like, damn, I'm sorry, Vanessa. And Vanessa still has poise. She's charismatic too as well. When she was talking to Kendall, and she's a very strong woman. I'm like, you go, Vanessa, thank you. And it was nice to see Vanessa save Angela when she was doing the View conference, to support women, and not ask Angela a hard question, but ask her like, oh, where did you get your suit from so I can borrow it? So that was really nice. Romeo's still feeling a certain type of way because Angela wanted to go on a date with somebody else. We got Master P trying to tell Romeo, like, either you're with her or you ain't. Like, you either need to move on with this Angela situation. You'll make up your mind. You're gonna settle down one day or whatever. So that was cool. And then we talk about, little Eazy situation, him talking to his Uncle Donald and his Uncle Kenny. They all look shocked and surprised, like, I can't believe he's bringing this shit up. That's the way they looked. They all, like, you'll see it in the slideshow. I was like, damn. But I'm glad that Eric is bringing a situation up, especially to find out that Eazy-E's medical records, was doctored. There was some typos. There was some things not filled out, some things written over. Like, there was something fishy and suspicious about his documentation from the hospital, and them also talking about the doctors dying right after Eazy-E a couple of years later. A lot of people talked about that too, because there's really been a conspiracy about Eazy-E's death and dying from AIDS or whatever. Even though the medication was different back then, he croaked really quick. I shouldn't have said that, but the brothers didn't even know like how he died, if he really had AIDS. They don't know what he really, and they said he was just gone. He was here one day and gone the next day, and they didn't really get any type of information. Everything was just like all kind of like messed up, and they didn't even know what was going on, what he actually died from. They don't even understand the paperwork. I haven't seen the paperwork, but his baby sister, that she has some documents. So I wish WEtv would help Eazy, investigate, because one of the things they can do is do an autopsy and find out what he died from, and did he have any type of disease or whatever too as well. And then little Eazy did also bring up that the shit that Suge Knight said and Ice said, but they kind of like bleeped their names out too as well. But the family looked shocked. The uncles looked shocked and surprised like that. Like, that was real reality moment when the uncles was asked that question. They were just like, whoa. I was like, damn. And then we got Kendall. She's trying to have a baby. She's having a hard time. Her husband sperm is not doing what it's supposed to do, so they're gonna try IVF. They're gonna try everything. They've been trying everything too as well. And then we got Bree. We know Bree's situation where she's supposed to be leaving the show, and basically she's upset with Dame actually kind of like accusing her of being on drugs. But Bree did say that she was on mushrooms and she was on cocaine. She wasn't on meth and she wasn't on crack. I was saying, what's the difference? But Bree says there's a difference between cocaine and mushrooms and meth. I know there is a difference between cocaine and meth. Meth is just a high, I think, for hours and hours or whatever. So on crack is just, I guess you just walk all day with crack. But, I'm just joking, but I know the difference between the two. But, cocaine, they still consider a party drug. But if you, was addicted to crack and you was addicted to, meth for a long time, you tripping out and getting back on drugs and taking the mushrooms and the cocaine can have you relapse all the way where you become a full-fledged addict. So, and we can see this episode where Eazy is actually pushing, Bree to the point of where he's trying to help her wake up, but she's not feeling it because it's on TV, and she's talking about she gets death threats. People say this and that about her, and so that's why your father don't love you. Yes, she does get a lot of negative feedback from the public. And then on top of that, she was like, nah, everybody's gonna be like, my father's a deadbeat. But Bree has told the story about her father being a deadbeat and her mother being a deadbeat on Hollywood Unlocked, if you guys ever check out that interview. But so the shit was crazy. So we still got Romeo and Angela still going back and forth, whatever it was the case may be. But Romeo ended the conversation, said it wasn't that important. It wasn't a priority for me. She was like, it wasn't a priority for you? And he was like, I would have been there in 30 minutes. He was lying because he was taking a shower and going to bed, and he sent his boys there because he was pissed that Angela wanted to, have a double date, but I'm so sick of Romeo and Angela's storyline, whatever. So he says that to her, and they end up, not really speaking to each other. And she was just like, yo, I rented a whole skating ring. I was there for this time. And he was like, well, if you was there a little bit longer, 30 more minutes, I would have showed up. But you was already 45 minutes late, so miss me with that. So anyways, Romeo wants to try to make it up to Angela, and Angela's not hearing it. But Angela and Vanessa talking. Vanessa's trying to tell, Angela, that Romeo likes you. You're a good couple. He always talks about you, this and that. And I tell you that he likes you. How you not know? Angela's acting like she don't know. She's oblivious to the situation. She just needs to tell Rome that it's done. And Rome needs to just tell Angela, hey, I want to be with you. And I think he already did. She says no, move on and let it be, because this is just way too much. And you guys do look cute together. And whatever, but we don't know what Romeo does on a down low, on a QT, when nobody's around, how many girls he has. And so maybe that's why Angela has her guards up. But Angela does speak about, her child's father, and basically her child's father, murderer, has been caught. He's in jail. Allegedly, he's the murderer, and he shot her husband 17 times. Her ex-fiance 17 times. I was like, damn. And you never really heard Angela describe or say what was going on in their relationship. But at the women's conference, she was talking about, being in a control relationship. You got to love yourself and getting yourself back and not focusing on the person, and don't be isolated and like giving your all. She said she gave her all into a relationship until she was just empty. So we did get that situation. So I was just like, damn. And so we get to see Damon Dash, Boogie, and Rocky. They're together. Damon Dash and Boogie are getting along. They got a good relationship right now. Well, we also hear that, Damon Dash was 18 when he had, Boogie, and he had Boogie at the club. So if he had Boogie at the club at night and all this other shit, Boogie must have seen a lot of shit. And that's probably why he's susceptible to drugs. And he kind of like is not as hard as his father, because he probably was traumatized too with the shit that was going on in Damon Dash's life back then. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, Dame lets Boogie know that there's a baby on the way, since you ain't gonna give me no grandkids. Like, Boogie don't need to be having no kids right now. He's basically trying to stay afloat. You just said he just tried to rob the 7-Eleven, and he almost died, and he's leaving lean around the house. Why would you want him to produce right now? So Damon Dash is talking about everything is good now. I got my money back from Lee Daniels, and we find out that Rocky family ain't playing that. They must be for money, because they did not want Rocky to marry Damon Dash while he had them tax problems and them tax issues, because then she'll be in debt too as well. But Rocky also said that Dame has a lot more growing to do too as well. I can imagine him in a relationship being very egotistical. And then we also talk about Aaliyah, and Dame brings up that Aaliyah used to babysit Boogie. Boogie was like, yeah, I liked her a lot, and we were so cool. Yeah, you was close in age or whatever. So anyways, we have that situation. And Boogie described how when Aaliyah died, how much it hurted him, and all his cousin was crying. It was 10 of them together, and he was like, him and Aaliyah had a good relationship. And Boogie's happy that Rocky's going to have a baby, and Rocky's happy that she's able to have Dame to love her, because Dame's the only woman he loved in his whole lifetime was Aaliyah. And now he has that with Rocky. And then they hear certain songs with Aaliyah come on, and they were like, oh, that's a sign that Aaliyah wants us together. Okay, sick that they just wanted to use Aaliyah's name in this part of the episode, because he wasn't shitting on his son about drugs anymore. So I'm surprised they didn't shit on Brie, because Brie probably was like, what the hell you say to me last time we was filming? Because Brie was like, she don't want to look like a drug addict, and she was really pissed at Damon Dash. So Damon Dash got his money back from the man. He got his money back from Lee Daniels. I was like, damn, he got his money back. So that's cool and everything. And then, Angela, she's trying on outfits for, the woman conference. She's happy about it. And then she talks about the Romeo situation. Everybody's just like, he likes you. He don't want to do no double date with you or anything like that. So we have that situation. Rocky loves, Dame loves Rocky. So then we get on to Kendall and Egypt. Basically, they're talking about the Romeo situation. They're walking a pig and a dog. I was like, okay, walk a dog, walk a pig. I don't know how far, this scene was staged, because how far is the pig walking? So we have that situation. And basically we find out that Kendall, she's trying to, have a baby, and there's a lot going on that she can't. And Egypt feels empowered and loves to hear her strength and keep fighting. I was like, I thought Egypt was going to get in her confessional and say that, oh my God, Kendall's so young. She's trying to have a baby and she can't. Maybe I should get pregnant. I thought she was going to say that about Sam, but she didn't. So thank you, Egypt. And so they talk about the Romeo situation and, Angela, basically they didn't get no info because they on the outside looking in. They're not in that little circle. Well, Angela's not letting people in that little circle. It also seems like Angela doesn't trust people and she doesn't really like people around her unless, they're either working for her. She has really bad trust issues because of people shaming her, I believe, and then people want to know things about her and then put it all online and just basically probably thinking that people just want to use her for her name or for whatever she has. But Vanessa's a lot more different. She's a lot more open and a lot more friendlier, a lot more nicer, a lot more easy to go, and she can adapt to any situation. Angela is not adapting to shit. Either you adapt to Angela is adapting out of this situation. So that was all right. So we got Master P filming the hookup, the new hookup. I got the hookup or whatever. Blase the third. I don't know if he was filming that on a set. Was he at his house filming it? But it's whatever. So we have that situation. Then we have Little Eazy, his family reunion. And basically when he goes to talk to his uncles about, especially Kenny looked at him like, Kenny and Donald looked at him like, Kenny looked at him like, what? Gave him that look like, what are you talking about? What are you mentioning? So I was just like, damn. And so the uncle, Eazy-E's brother, I think Kenny's his older brother, right? I'm getting confused. Well, Eazy-E's brother, I believe it was Donald. And Donald is like, we don't know what happened. Donald was like, I think it's a conspiracy. Like, we don't know. It's like, damn, all these years and they still don't know. And it's like it's like the family like stayed broke and were not able to investigate. Even the grandmother was like, the 90s was a good year. I know Eazy-E is just like, damn, I know his spirit is hoping that somebody find out the truth and his sons get some money. They sue Jerry Heller and get their money back and get all of, Eazy-E's masters and his music and shit. And it's also said that none of Eazy-E kids had HIV, and if he had it, his wife was pregnant at the time, or somebody was pregnant at the time. But sometimes you don't pass. Sometimes a baby could be born without HIV if one parent is HIV positive, but usually they use medication. But sometimes it's the luck of the draw. So the family really seems like what's up. And then we got Bree. She's sitting there drinking her Hennessy. Homeboy brought her some Hennessy, and she was kind of rude to Homeboy, which was, he was like, hey, what's up? I brought you a gift. And then she's just like, I don't know who you, basically said, I don't know you. And she was like, I just show up to functions drunk. And I don't think, Bree likes to be around people that she don't know, or people that's not in her main circle, because I just think that she's been hurt so much. Because if you heard her story, she's been homeless since she was like 12 or 13. She was living under a bridge. She was doing drugs. She was living with different crazy people. She was attacked. She was abused. She had a gun put to her head, a knife put to her head. Bree just been through the worst. And, her mother didn't give a shit and her father didn't give a shit. And so, I guess she just don't trust people, but she's seeing the familyness and being around like the humbleness of this family reunion, that she really wish she has a family, but she feels like her family hurts her and let her down. Her father don't call and try to check on her because he got his new girl. He's getting that money from Mary J. Blige, and she felt like Mary J. Blige was actually really nice to her and really treated her well, and her father effed that up. And then on top of that, every time she talks to her mother, she argues. So it is what it is. They was trying to question her to talk to her family, be a part of her family. But, Bree is kind of right. Like, sometimes family ain't shit. Sometimes family will do you in more than anybody else. And I think Bree has experienced that, where she feels like she don't want to abuse herself and be around her family. But if she's clean and she's sober, do it that way and see what happens. Which if she tries to reach out. But it is what it is. And Eazy wants to know what's going on. He feels like Briana is broken, that she's hurt, that she has a lot of pain inside, that she has a lot of emptiness, and he notices it. And, you could tell that he actually cares for her. He does. Little Eazy got some cute sons. He got some gorgeous sons or whatever. So that's cool or whatever. So, Little Eazy said he wanted to reach out to DJ Yellow or whatever. I wonder if he's gonna reach out to Bone Thugs and Harmony, because their interview with Foxhole Radio with Jamie Foxx, I mean, Lazy Bone told all types of truth in that interview. It was crazy. So moving on from that situation, I think the interview is actually still on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. So I was just like, damn, Jamie Foxx, Foxhole, Bone Thugs and Harmony. So I was just like, damn, that shit is crazy. And then we have, Angela, she does her speech, and, basically she gives politically correct answers, and she feels very nervous, and and it seems like Angela does have some insecurities about certain things and how people put her on a pedestal, and she don't feel like she should be put on a pedestal. She's just Angela in her mind, but people, and she says she's never going to talk bad about her relationship with, her ex or whatever. I was like, damn. And she's a single mother on top of that, and then the child's father is deceased. Like, that's you hear stories like that, especially with African American women, they're usually from impoverished neighborhoods, and Angela's not from it. So anybody can end up in any type of situation. It don't really matter. Sometimes you can't help who you fall in love with, but sometimes you got to think wise and not think with your heart, but think with your mind. Just like Pep should have did with Andre. Thank God she got Andre out the picture. Hopefully she did. But I was just like crazy. And then when Eazy met up with Kenny, basically Kenny was like, yeah, you should do it, but he looked shocked too. He looked shook, and it was like, are you ready for the repercussion? Are you ready to find out what it is? Like, are you ready for everything that's gonna happen? Like, you have to really want to know the answers and really do your due diligence, but there could be consequences. And little Eazy was like, I'm ready, I need to know, thank you. But he keeps saying, oh, my little sister, and then it's like Eazy just going around having these, it looks like the conversations are uncomfortable for the family members, but he's going there, and these moments to me are real, because they look shook when he brought it up, because it's probably been so many years, and you know what, people try to bury pain and hurt and just not try to think about it, but they do, but they don't tell you, and they'll move on to another type of energy so they can remove from that hurt and that loss and that disappointment and that mystery energy about Eazy-E being gone. So I was just like, damn, this is just this is crazy. Like, I just really hope he finds some answers, or somebody donate and he find the answers, because it's real serious. And then we get back to Kendall. Basically, her boyfriend got some sperm issues, and we have Angela and Vanessa talking, and Angela tells Vanessa that Kendall's having some problems with conceiving. Maybe you should talk to Kendall. And so they do meet up and talk, and they have that cold brew coffee in a glass container. I love cold brew, but I never get it in a glass container. We don't have shops like that here. I was just like, damn, that cold brew was good. And so basically Angela breaks down and saying, like, stress will kill your body, stress will kill you, stress is too much. And she lets her know that she had a miscarriage, and just take it easy, take it slow, don't worry too much, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Then we find out that she wants Kendall wants a shitload of kids. Her husband came from a shitload of kids, so she wants to have a bunch of kids or whatever. So I don't know how she gonna raise them in California. She better make it work with the music and this show. And so then we move on to Bree. Basically, she meets up with, Eric, and they're like flirting a little bit. And then, Bree was like, if I was locked up in a cabin for a whole week, I wouldn't have sex with you. And then when Bree said, like, he was like, I'm experienced now, I know a whole lot. And because basically they were saying they used to have sex all day, all day long in 2008 or whatever. And Bree was like, I was only 18 then. I was trying to keep the shit together. Or I think it was 2008 or whatever. And she was like, I want to keep my body count down. He was like, I can still go just like that. I'm even better. And she was like, but your pull-out game suck. And he was like, yeah, my pull-out game does suck. I was like, Bree, why you go there? And so basically from there, he tells Bree that he wants to find out what happened with his father and everything like that. And she's like, okay, she's cool with it or whatever. And then little Eazy starts to pry, Bree, to ask her questions about, where's your father? How come you don't have a relationship with your family. I know you're part of my family, but you seem a little down or whatever. And she goes, my father, most of my family won't pick up the phone. If I talk to my mother, we argue. My father, I talk to him every now and then he'll be like, oh, let's meet up. He'll take me to one of the fancy restaurants in Soho, and then, brag about this and brag about that. He'll brag about doing something for somebody else, that knowing that his daughter wants, because he doesn't believe in his daughter. He don't give a shit about his daughter, because she was homeless for years and nobody found her. Nobody went to go see what was going on with her. Like, damn, how you just dish your child like that? So she feels a disconnect, a disrespect, and she feels like she's not loved. And why force these people to love me if they don't? And basically, she don't want to talk about it on camera because it's a weakness, and she has to put on this tough exterior because she deals with social media a lot. And people, give her death threats, say, how you don't have this. And basically, she don't want him to talk bad about her father, call him a deadbeat, which her father is really a deadbeat, but she don't want to face it, and she don't want somebody else to say it. You know how some people are. You can talk bad about, I can talk bad about, Haley, and then if somebody else talk bad about Haley, I'm gonna go in, even though I'm talking bad about her. And so that's what, Briana is at that point. And then he's pushing. He was like, you need to reach out, you need to touch, because your daddy's still living, he's still alive, because Bree says, I don't want to beat this, let's stop beating this dead horse about my father's situation. He says, speaking of dead, my daddy's dead, your daddy's still alive. And as long as you still living, as long as you still have breath going on, you can change the situation, you can rectify the situation and make it a better situation. And you can change things, and you can grow, you can go to counseling, you can do things, you can take it easy, you can take it slow, because once somebody's dead and gone, they're not here anymore. And he's also like, how the fuck you gonna be helping out Boogie and everything with his father's situation when you're in the same situation with your father? Don't make no sense. How are you reaching out an olive branch to help people? And he was like, I don't want to hear about your fake daddy Damon Dash or your stepdaddy, talk about your real daddy. And she was like, no, I don't know how he's doing either. So it also makes it seem like Brie has a bunch of bad relationships, like she can't keep relationships. And it seems like only person she's really filming with is little Eazy. And JoJo films with her too as well, because he filmed with her this episode for a brief second. So it is what it is. And then she's like, F you, I don't want to talk about this shit. Nobody talks about my father. You're not going to disrespect me and all this other stuff. She walks away. She's talking shit. And, Eric is talking shit right back to her. Like, well, you're going to be alone. Blah, 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 blah. Like, you can't be like this. And like, you always running away from the situation. You don't face it. And basically, that's the storyline in herself, trying to get back into her father's life and let us know how he's living with the new chick. Peace, I'm out. Much love to all my peeps and my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. From the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. Peace.